Hello, everyone, and welcome to the session on Nigeria as a new tech frontier. I'm sure you've had quite an interesting day so far. I'll be your moderator for this afternoon. My name is Mimshak Obioha. I'm the country manager of Telesofters in Nigeria. I'm leading expansion into Africa. And it's going to be quite an interesting conversation today. To spark off this session, we'll have Lanre, who's the head of Tech Cabal Insights from Tech Cabal. And honestly, no one is better to give us an overview of the new developments in the Nigerian tech industry than Lanre, because Tech Cabal has sort of been the number one announcer and sort of the organization that keeps track of what's going on in the Nigerian tech ecosystem and letting everybody know what's going on. So there's nobody better qualified than Lanre to give us a broad overview of what's been happening in the Nigerian tech ecosystem and sort of where the future lies. So Lanre, over to you.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you, Mimshak, for those collateral words. And I'm just going to share my screen and go straight into my presentation. It's going to be quick. Just to give you an idea of where the industry, Nigerian tech industry is coming from. So my name is Olayanwaju Odunowo. I lead Tech Cabal Insights, which is a research and consulting service that is affiliated with Tech Cabal, the leading African tech and innovation publication. We're fully owned by Big Cabal Media, a leading African media company. And personally, I've been studying and researching the African digital economy sector for about 7 years. So that's a short brief about what I do. I'm going to start with a very short story that happened in 2001. That's about 21 years ago. On the left is Chika Uwobi, a Nigerian entrepreneur and investor. Uwobi tried to hire a developer for his mobile content company, but soon found out that finding local technical talent was tough. There were very few developers in those days, unlike now, even though we still have a technical talent shortage now, but imagine 21 years ago, there was hardly any developers. And after looking far and wide, Uwobi finally ran into the person on the left, Godswill Oletu. Godswill has been teaching himself how to code using internet access at the local ISP where he was working as a network engineer. And 6 months later, Godswill joined MTech, which was a company that Uwobi on the left founded. He taught himself how to code and built MTN Live, the first mobile content and email service in Nigeria using open source tools. That was the earliest. In 1963, IBM set up its first African Education Center in University College Ibadan, Southwest Nigeria. That was the first, the earliest semblance of a technical talent training initiative, which was way before Godswill Oletu and Chika's chance meeting. It wasn't until 1972 that Nigerian universities introduced computer science as a course. And as you can see on the screen, that's University Computing Center at the University of Ibadan. About the same time, there was an oil boom that ushered in companies like Schlumberger that helped people gain software support skills. And if you watch closely, it's the same building in both images. And by the 80s, indigenous companies started to emerge. The company on the screen is JKK. JKK is one of the earliest indigenous software companies. The Computer Association of Nigeria was inaugurated about the same time, and computer vendors, including data science, JKK I mentioned, Datamatics, Debies, were established around the same period. The 90s saw the launch of Africa's largest computer accessories market, which we call the Computer Village. The emergence of indigenous software and computer companies sparked the organic establishment of the computer village. Clothing had become a thing, and training courses for programming languages were sold in CDs and all of those. In fact, some self-taught programmers started to emerge at about the same period. In 2001, Nigeria awarded its first set of telco licenses, ushering the first wave of internet entrepreneurs. On the screen are three men who founded Jobberman, a job search portal and one of Nigeria's earliest internet companies. In 2015, ForLoop, one of the earliest developer communities, was launched. Google also started its university developer hubs. Again, I'm just trying to show the evolution, of technical talent training, how we got to where we are today, and what the challenges are. In 2014, Andela launched, and Andela is credited as one of those companies' initiative that scaled developer training, the kind of introduced Nigerian developers to the world. Today, just several organizations trying to train world-class developers and technical talent in Nigeria. There are at least 25 key players. This probably doesn't capture everything we have now, but captures a substantial amount of those. We have private training companies, we have government, we have software support companies, we have talent outsourcing, tech company training initiatives, and all of those. And technical talent companies are playing a huge role in building a skilled Nigerian workforce. There are also specific initiatives that are targeted at underserved communities, including women and all of those. You got the ADB, they launched an all-female coding training with Microsoft. Global tech companies are also paying attention to Nigeria's rise as a technical talent hub. This is a news piece on Microsoft spending $100 million developed on Kenya and Nigeria as a tech development hub. And just to show you Nigerian talent, Nigerian excellence, this is Dara. Dara got a job during the visit of Twitter to Nigeria. Jack Dorsey gave Dara a job on the spot. Dara founded Quoted Replies. And then he got a job during a meetup in Lagos. Just showing you Nigeria excellence. We've also got several international programs, digital explorers, just trying to develop Nigerian talent. All of this is coming together, to build Nigerian excellence, to build quality Nigerian talent. Nigeria's technology industry is growing fast, and talent is expected to grow as well. So if you're looking for quality talent, I feel like I'm a salesman, but it's true actually. But if you look at quality Nigerian, quality talent, world-class talent, I think in Africa, Nigeria is one of those places that you could look, because we've got so many initiatives. We've got young people who are hungry to make a mark on the world. And I mentioned Oletu, who was self-taught. We've got several of them as well today. So we've got more than 50% of African software developers are based in 5 African countries. Nigeria is one of those. Nigeria contributes a significant number to Africa's developer pool, and it's growing very quickly. In 2021, Nigeria attracted 34% of the total equity funding in Africa's tech industries. Nigeria is one of the leading technology hub in Africa, probably even the leading. Yesterday, we just got a very important news milestone announcement. Flutterwave, one of the companies that are founded locally, is now has now tripled its valuation. Last year it became a unicorn. This year, I don't know what the name is called, but it's tripled its valuation to $3 billion. And this just shows you, the fact that Nigeria has all the right ingredients. There are challenges, and I'll get to that in a minute, but we have all the right ingredients to become a world-class talent hub. And we already are on our way. And this is some of the interesting things I already mentioned. Flutterwave. Some of the interesting milestones we've seen: Stripe was acquired by Paystack was acquired by Stripe. Flutterwave raised 1 billion last year. Yesterday, they tripled that valuation. Remember Andela? I mentioned Andela at the start of this presentation. Andela is now a unicorn as well. They became a unicorn last year. We showed you that there's huge opportunity, in the space. Again, talking about infrastructure, Funke Opeke's main one was acquired for about, or is set to be acquired for about $320 million. Again, showing you Nigerian excellence. I mentioned that Nigeria as one of the fastest growing developer communities. If you look at the charts from GitHub, Nigeria is one of the fastest growing developer communities, about 65% ahead of Hong Kong, Egypt, Bangladesh. And I think this is based on activity on GitHub. There are challenges, we know them, and there's several people, entrepreneurs, innovators trying to solve all of those. Digital and power infrastructure are limiting technical talent. But the way I like to think about this is, if we can accomplish this much in quotes, with these challenges existing, imagine what happens where all these challenges are taken away, and there are innovators like Funke Opeke, who is working on taking away all these challenges. We expect growth to continue to happen. Funding in Nigeria's tech industry will continue to grow. Funding is growing at an accelerating rate. We expect to see more exits and acquisitions. We're seeing more senior tech talent emerge. Nigerian developers are all over the world doing great stuff. I mentioned Godswill Oletu earlier, and I'm going to end with something about Godswill as well. Talent with deep tech skills will also emerge. Competition for Nigerian talent will continue to grow. We're seeing a recovery from the pandemic. The pandemic was tough on the ecosystem at the initial stage, but it actually helped the ecosystem to grow. And I'm going to end with this. Remember Oletu Godswill, the person that Chika hired at the start, is now a senior tech employee at AT&T Labs. How else do you describe Nigerian excellence? How else do you describe, the beauty of the Nigerian spirit? If you're looking for world-class talent, you're looking for world-class developers, technical talent, world-class media companies from Africa. Tech About is one of those. Reach out to us, and we're happy to work with you. Thank you so much for having me, and let's enjoy the rest of the deliberations today. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Landray. That was great. I also actually had the crash course on Nigerian tech ecosystem, what's going on and how it's going. So thank you so much for that. As you can hear and you've seen, there's so much potential and so much is going on here, and our talents are being recognized all around the world. And that's continuing to happen. And our startups also are being recognized around the world. Now we'll jump into an 8-minute video, just taking a Nigerian ecosystem tour. And after that, we'll have an interesting conversation with Mr. Peter and Mr. Oluwajoba on understanding also the tech ecosystem and giving us another perspective. All right, over to you with the video.
We often joke that if you can survive in Nigeria, you can survive anywhere else. In recent times, many young talents have tried to survive societal stereotypes. In a regular Nigerian family, parents expect their children to become doctors, lawyers, construction engineers, or other white-collar worthy jobs. To them, being a programmer or designer doesn't really foot the bill. It gets worse if you're a remote worker. But thanks to technology, this is fast changing. And for young, energetic people like me who want to go beyond the conventional, we've found where we truly belong.
My name is Wanne Wonwu. I am the programs manager at the Foundry by The Nest. The Nest Innovation Technology Park is a community that fosters collaboration and innovation. At the core of what we do at The Nest is support startup founders and small business owners build scalable businesses. We're able to support these entrepreneurs by providing co-working facilities, meeting rooms, a business lounge, and the Foundry. The Foundry is the acceleration and incubation arm of The Nest, through which we facilitate programs such as the Foundry for SMEs, the Girl Code Academy. The Girl Code Academy is our own way of supporting, promoting, and empowering more females to get into the world of tech.
We launched GCA about 5 years ago to bridge gender parity in Nigeria's digital talent landscape and technology ecosystem.
We decided to start by training these women for free. Women from 18 to 30 years. We trained them on front-end engineering for 2 months. Then we sent the best of the cohort on internship. We've had 5 batches so far. We're currently on the 5th one, and it's been great.
So for me, Girl Code Academy is very personal to me because this was the first place that I learned how to code. And so I was very excited to be able to volunteer to teach the girls HTML and CSS this time around.
GCA is one of the 5 programs run concurrently by the Nest to boost female participation in a male-dominated technology landscape.
The experience has been eye-opening, interesting, and awesome.
GCA has churned out over 200 tech talents who currently work with tech teams across Africa and globally.
Detalium is a global talent accelerator, and basically what we do is to build globally functional talent for the now and the future of work.
I've been a facilitator with Detalium for the past 2 years. So majorly I lecture the students on the data analytics beginners course, where I facilitate the data analytics and the structured query language class.
Our journey so far has been nothing short of remarkable. We started in 2019. In the span of 2 years, we've trained over 13,000 data analysts and also secured placements, mentorship, guidance, and also support systems for these participants of ours, and we keep pushing.
Like the name implies, Detalium. So there is a perspective and there is a general belief which has been proven by data over time that data is indeed the new oil.
From their various coding and digital skill programs, we are able to find talents who are very passionate about growing our fintech product.
Hello, my name is Erica Amos. I am a commercial model and also a product designer, UI UX designer.
I'm Adede Jurutibi. I'm a software engineer at Fixie45.
My name is Adedotun Adewose. I'm the founder and CEO of Sadonix Technologies Limited.
My name is Madago Raymond. I'm a tech project manager and an operations manager.
It means creating beautiful interfaces and wonderful experience for users, and also solving problems for your clients in the process.
At Fixie45, I will build mobile applications and backend. And also, during my leisure time, I contribute to Flutter open source packages and also to general open source.
Having built different projects for different product clients, working with the right set of team, looking for the right set of clients. I mean, it has had its ups and its downs, but I wouldn't choose any other path, right?
I've worked with 5 companies so far. I've done like 5 major projects so far, and my most challenging had to be one with a logistics company because I had to look from the aspect of a back-end user to know how they would feel using certain products, and also trying to make the websites easy to use. I mean, that's the work of a UI UX designer, being able to solve problems and think to help the company.
I've had the experience of working with some clients in all over the world. I've worked with people in Rwanda, I've worked with people in the US, I've worked with people in Dubai, and I also love to work with foreign companies outside the ones I've mentioned, like Europe, specializing in Silicon Valley and the likes. I have quite a range of skill sets, ranging from mobile app development to back-end development to DevOps, setting up front-end and managing teams. On mobile app, I specialize in I write Flutter for cross-platform applications, I write Java and Swift for native applications. On the back-end, I write PHP and the framework Laravel alongside Cake PHP. Also, front-end, I am conversant to HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Tailwind, Bootstrap, and quite a number of things.
As a designer, my 3 top tools are Figma. Figma is like your palo when designing, because you're going to be designing a lot of interfaces in Figma. Google Meet, because meetings are like 30% of what you do as a designer. Pen and paper, because you're going to be sketching down a lot of ideas and writing down a lot, and also Photoshop to enhance some images and to deal with some illustrations as well.
In all these years, starting from when we commenced business in 2012, the Nest has been there for us. They ensured that we started out in business, and they also ensured business continuity, especially in 2019 when we formally registered with them. And now we are also expanding our business operations and activities with them.
So the Nest has played a big role in my career path as a tech project manager. Their provision of human resources is exceptional. The provision of talent, the provision of disciplined people, and the place itself serving as an incubation hub for ideas, right? From the point of conceptualization to having your soft launch in the market. So it's been quite an amazing process working on this project at the Nest.
We believe when it comes to global technological advancement, Nigeria and broadly Africa have an important role to play. And since 50% of the young population will emerge from Africa in a few years' time, this landscape should neither be overlooked nor underestimated.
Wow, that was really beautiful. And I feel so ashamed like that. I didn't know about Nest until this program, but definitely my next time in Lagos, I am definitely visiting Nest. Like it's really incredible the work that you're doing. When I talk about the tech ecosystem, particularly around talent, I always like to say that yes, we have a number of talent, but what we have more is people. We have like a large population. Nigeria has approximately over 200 million people. And I said, like, what we need more are these types of organizations that are like refineries. You know the way you have like a refinery would take crude oil and convert it into petrol or diesel. I think that organizations like yours take people and convert them into talent and place them in great employment. So it's really, really nice to see your place, to watch this video and to learn about the great work you're doing. So I'm just going to take a deep dive with you, Mr. Oluwajoba and Mr. Peter. Maybe we start out with just even understanding why are you doing what you're doing? Why did you start out like this? What's sort of your journey? So maybe just give us maybe like a 45 seconds intro into why you're doing what you're doing and how you got here.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Good day, wherever you are. So we started in Yaba, the ecosystem, way back from like 2011. And of course, because of the problems we have within the community, there's no power, people need data to work. And we work in clusters a lot within the tech community. So we started, giving office space to people, to set up companies. We had very good mentors. We have very good friends within the space. And that was crystallized into actually having a hub where we give them access, we connect them to mentors, we provide them the basic training facility from 2019, where it was formally launched as the Nest. So we're just running a typical office, helping people before, but now is a full-fledged business supporting talents.
Awesome. Maybe, Mr. Peter, maybe you can take this. So one of the things that we've realized with Nigeria is how many of the people are self-taught, especially within the tech ecosystem. Can you maybe just tell us a little bit about like what are the various sort of learning pathways that different people that you've met in your career basically have been able to take to arrive at their destinations?
All right, thank you very much. So the learning pathway is basically, as you mentioned, initially, a lot of people were basically self-taught. The things that are happening outside are different from the things that they're getting from their educations in school and learning. So people basically just have to set out time for themselves and start to learn things on their own. But there's also some limits to that. In scaling that, how many people would have that capacity to be able to self-taught themselves. So, and in our journey across this ecosystem, we've tried to see, okay, what are the best way to make sure that people actually scale better. One of the initial things we did optionally, because we have like a software development arm, so we start to take internship on trainings. People who were doing CWES, part 3 ITs, part 4 ITs, 1 year ITs in colleges and universities, and started to bring them in and started to work with them and train them and make sure that they are able to learn the things, and when they go back to school, they also find a new cluster, whatever it is that they want to do. So that was the initial, that was the beginning tracking part that we worked with. After that is what now culminates into what we have now as Nest, where we have to now build proper official structure for training, capacity building, learning, and also mentorship. So because in the end, you want them to have learned what they needed to learn, but also they need to put it to work. So we need to now build a whole network around placement on other platforms, on projects, on people, and making sure that they excel exactly on the things that you've taught them.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. And I like that you started out with doing stuff that didn't take people away from school, because so just also for those who are not from Nigeria on the call, so you're watching this, so you understand some of the cultural nuances. So education, formal education, is still super critical for our parents. And even though for a lot of the universities, the education that they provide is quite obsolete, but parents don't want to hear that you're not going to school, right? You want to do an alternative learning in what? You want to go and learn mechanical what? So it's like, it's super critical for them. So I'm very happy that you started out with, okay, kids and students, when you're on break, come, let's teach you something, go back to school, come again, and then we can place you on jobs, we can give you internships. I think last at the end of the day, what our parents want to see is that you have a job. If you have a job, okay, we're much more comfortable. So I think that was really great at what you guys did. And also, why it's also important on this conversation is, as foreign companies think to recruit from Nigeria, it's also important for them to understand what should they be looking out for in a CV. Like, if you're recruiting in the US or recruiting in Europe, there are key universities you want to see. The person did computer science or computer engineering. But we've seen that for many of the talent here, they don't have any computer science or computer engineering backgrounds, right? So that's why I really want to talk about, like, what are the different pathways people have taken basically in learning. So Mr. Oluwajoba, let's also just dig a little bit deeper into the demographic. So we've seen that there are lots, tech is still very male dominated right now in Nigeria. I saw one of the programs that you're doing targeting women. Maybe you can talk a little bit about how your organization is trying to build or bridge that gender divide in the tech ecosystem and tech talent space.
Good. So first thing I'm going to say, and looking into the future, what we've seen is oil has played its part. And I believe, and a lot of us believe, that talent is looking like what's going to be the next biggest exports from Africa and Nigeria in particular. So, and while playing that role, we noticed that, it's definitely, like you mentioned, it's male, dominated. And while tinkering with the problem and creating a pathway for women, we launched the Girl Code Academy. And it's like said in the program, it's like a 2 months program where we also work with the flexibility. While their weekend program, we have different tracks for them, different programming languages. Then, because again, we're beginning to see that the job the world is preferring is not just technical, roles. Also, we're looking for UI, UX people, program managers and stuff. So we start developing product development, UI, UX, DevOps, and different kind of pathways for people that really don't like coding, as it were. And so far, so good. And we're beginning to see that a lot of women are getting, more interested. And I think because of the gender peculiarities, a lot of them, the start and finish rate is also good. A lot of them don't drop out. And what is quite instructive is we need organizations to also come up and create this kind of structured program for women. Guys easily are able to just cluster around in schools, and learn. And probably because of that, they have faster growth rates. And now we're seeing that there's a very good catch up within the space, especially with ladies between the ages of 16 and above. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah,
Peter,
just to add to the conversation, yes, as Joba said, and for us, even from some of these things that we've seen, part of our successes have been the fact that people that have been placed on internship from the Get Code Academy have gone ahead to do greater stuff. We're hearing most of our people now are in Coursera. We have people in Goldman Sachs. We have people who are in top tech companies in Nigeria. You have, like you saw in the video, some of them are actually also coming back to become facilitators and mentors. It's something of a joy that really we thought that, and we've seen that it's encouraging. And if we could do more of that, we're going to have greater successes from our women also, just like the men, and reach that goal.
Awesome. Thanks for throwing that in, Mr. Peter. Like it's all hands on deck, right? And I like Oluwajoba, what you talked about when you said that it's not really about just core programming. Like there are different aspects of the tech ecosystem that people can play in. So when everybody thinks about, oh, I can't be a developer, I really can't get into tech. Like, no, there's so much more that you can do. And I think a lot more awareness needs to be done so that people know that there are different aspects to being a part of tech. Tech is obviously the future, and there's so much we could do. So just quickly, my last question to you, and maybe Mr. Peter, you can handle this, is on this workshop or on this call today, there are lots of people watching all around Europe, different companies, and they're probably thinking, oh man, this Nigeria thing is really incredible. I want to cash in on it. I want to get in on it. How can I get talent, or how? I know the next session is mostly going to be drilling down on getting tech talent, because the match program helps you do that. But if a company wants to expand to Nigeria, is there anything that you can do sort of to help them in that process?
Yes, yes, we that's basically why we are here. Our aim is to be able to support both startups and also talent. Startup in the sense that if you are trying to build something and you need this kind of skill set and this kind of people, of course, we help you to build that team and get them ready for you. So yes, we are open and we are available. We would like to work with organizations and companies from outside who are really interested in getting some of this talent. Because one of the things that we will be having as an advantage for them is the fact that whoever it is that we're bringing to you or that we're providing to you are people that we have worked with or that we have scrutinized enough, and we have some what can I call it? Some kind of structured processes with them that allows you, we've trained them, we've done some Q&A session, we've done quite a bit of upskilling also for them to make them suitable for the roles that you are looking for. So yes, we are open, we are ready, and we would like to work with them. Joba.
Awesome.
I mean, yeah, basically, the website. So we're part of the exhibitors. We'll be in the question in the exhibition booth. People can reach out to us. We shed more light on that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks. So guys, everyone listening to this, if you're thinking about Africa, think about Nigeria, you want to reach out to Nest, and you can reach them at the exhibition. So right now we're going to have some more panelists join our conversation. This is getting it more interesting. So we would be bringing back Lanre. And Lanre, I was just thinking today that as I was working with, I've been relating with Nest on this program. They keep talking about Ola. I didn't know it was you, because I always know you as Lanre, and I feel like you could be three different people. You could be Ola, you could be Lanre, you could be Waju, depending on who's calling you, right? So I'm having Lanre back from Big Cabal. We're also going to have Esther. Esther is joining us all the way from Uganda. She's a developer community lead at Tunga. Hello, Esther. Thanks for joining us today. And we would also have Mr. Andriano, and he's managing director of Prototype Nigeria Limited. And he's also going to be joining us in this interesting conversation where we would mostly be taking questions from the audience, but also we would just begin to kick off. So if you had questions throughout this session, this is the time to start typing them in so we could take some of those questions as we go on with the conversation, also still exploring Nigeria and the ecosystem here. All right, so I'm going to start out with asking Mr. Andriano a question. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your organization, and basically what your journey has been so far in Africa?
Thank you so much. I would just say, Amanda, from Mr. to Miss. On behalf of Adriano, thank you for introducing us. We are expatriate, Italian expatriate in Nigeria for the last 15 years. So we know the market pretty well. We are an SME. We are based in Lagos, but we also have offices in Italy, in Udine, and in Johannesburg in South Africa. So I think I anticipate a little bit what will be discussed later on. There is the possibility, even in Africa, to work remotely. This session that is holding up, and I think with decent audio and video quality, is showing that yes, we have challenges in the ICT infrastructure, but we can still make it. And every day our team across the continent and across Europe and Africa is actually working smoothly, and the COVID-19 surely had an impact, but didn't really modify our daily basis work. What do we do in Nigeria and why we are in Nigeria? We are in Nigeria because surely Nigeria is the first market in terms of volume, in terms of population, in terms of opportunities right now in the continent. We work mostly into the industrial innovation. Let's talk about, Industry 4.0. And we try to see what is possible to bring from Europe and other markets in terms of innovation and technologies, adapt it and deploy it into the Nigerian, but overall West African market. So to give you a couple of examples, we are talking about remote assistance through or without, depending on the client, smart glasses application. We talk about IoT sensoring with low consumption of energy and capable of working offline. We're talking about additive manufacturing, which has a great potential in this market. We think about the maintenance assistance in the industrial setting. When we talk about industry in Nigeria and in West Africa, we're talking about especially oil and gas, of course, industry, but also some others. There are food processors and at least assembly, automotive assembly industries here. So these are some of the activities that we run. Why and how we are, I think, leading the cutting edge. We work a lot also on research and innovation projects. Research and innovation projects funded by the European Commission, in particular, in the framework of H2020 and Horizon Europe program. Currently, we are heavily involved in DigiLogic. DigiLogic is an innovation action which sees among our partners from Europe, Fraunhofer Research Center, BTT from Finland, Friuli Innovazione from Udine, and from the African side, we have MEST in Ghana, and we have Bongo Hive in Zambia. What does this project do? It's focusing on the collaboration, fostering the collaboration between digital innovation hubs across the two continents. And we have a keen eye on smart logistics. I heard in the video that one of your innovators,
Okay, he seems to be frozen. I think we have a connection challenge. Okay, I'm sure she's gonna get her connection back up. But before she does that, we'll probably come back to her when she does. I'd like to jump to Esther. Esther, your business model literally is based off of remote working, and you have over 650 professionals working remotely globally. Like, this is incredible. Can you tell us a bit about your project, about how this works, and also sort of the process through which you've been able to match these types of people to global organizations around the world? This is quite impressive.
Hi, everybody. My name is Esther. Hey. Well, I would like to answer that question in two parts, because we can all agree before the pandemic, remote work wasn't ideal. It was something that was shunned upon. And you can agree that most companies would want someone who is in their office, someone that they have a similar culture with, they have a clear background and understanding, as well as speaking a similar language with the people you're working with. But with the global pandemic coming in, we realized that there is a possibility that makes what we were doing back then a possibility. And my CEO usually jokes and calls it the Tunga way, to find an effective manner of having companies from different parts of the world working with African talent and giving them an opportunity to express themselves technically, but also to go beyond what the norm has been described for Africa. what I can say about our matching process is that it has evolved over time. When we initially started Tunga, we started it with an idea of it being a marketplace, where we would find a client in Europe and then match them with a developer in Africa. But then we later realized that there were quite a number of cultural differences and professional differences between the people coming from different worlds that we had to rethink how would this work better. We then moved to a stage where we were working with projects where a client in Europe would come, an SME, an NGO would come to Tunga and say, hi Tunga, we would like a project that does this, this, and this, and delivered, right? So Tunga would come in and put a team of software developers together, some in Nigeria, with the biggest number being in Nigeria because of how brilliant they are. Nigeria, Uganda, Kenya, you have developers from all over Africa, and then you have a project manager working with that team and probably having a product owner from representing the client from the other side. And they're able to deliver products from inception to the end. We also later realized that while this was working, there are clients in Europe who felt like, you know what, due to the IT shortage, if we can find a developer in Africa who is delivering the same quality of work, who is charging us a fair amount of money and is giving us an opportunity and ideas that are even things that we probably never thought of before, is it possible for Tunga to provide us with resources that can join our team? And over the last 2-3 years, with the pandemic coming up, Tunga found it extremely successful. We were able to match quite a number of developers with clients, and it was extremely interesting. With our experience running those projects, we learned that it's not just about your technical skills as a developer. That is just 50% of what is needed for the collaboration to be successful, because communication comes in. Is there a rapport? How are your values? We emphasize the values between the developer that is coming from Nigeria and the client that you're working with. How is integrity? Are you able to do what is right even if no one is watching? And this applies both for the client and the developer to be able to have mutual respect, understanding, and delivery of quality that is expected on both ends. And we found out that some of the elements that are crucial for success and for us to be effective, a Nigerians or a Ugandans, a Kenyans, or even a client's ability to deliver in a manner that is scalable and screening over. Actually, if I'm to look at the statistics right now, we are up to over 800 developers in Africa. And these are developers that are available to work. And it took us time to find a process that works, yeah? And we've come to learn that when you look at the Nigerian ecosystem, it's largely fintech, unicorns, with Flutterwave getting over 200 million, 250 million funding. And we're all excited, and we look at it as the future, and even being way more valuable than half of the Nigerian banks sector. You find that that is huge. But what I've come to realize as well is that sometimes, I'm not going to come and say that it's all rosy. You find that sometimes developers may struggle to transfer knowledge from the regular fintech sector they're used to working in to, let's say, health and maybe edutech and things like that. So you find that as Tunga, even with us realizing issues like that, so what do we do to make it possible? You have to do problem solving. How do you deal with situational awareness? And we've been able to find value in creating teams that work for our developers, but also for our clients that are in Europe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Esther, thank you so much. It's the work you're doing, like I said, is really incredible. And to know that you're doing all of this remotely, and of course COVID made all of us realize that the future of work that we've been talking about is really here. So Margarita, I'll let you just to wrap up before the network cut you short on and then once you wrap up, maybe you could just quickly take my next question, which actually goes to you, and Esther would also chime in a bit, talking about one of the common threads for your two organizations is you both are exploring the potentials in Africa, right? And I think that's really great. And I guess a lot of the people who are watching today from all around Europe are thinking about, okay, this potential in Africa, how do I get involved? So maybe you wrap up, and then you also just talk about like what would you want a company that's European to know about this African potential, and how they might be a part of it. And also Esther, I'll let you also chime in on that after Margarita says her piece.
Thank you, and sorry for the disruption. I would say that find the right partner. Find the right partner in the market you want to enter. That's the key. You must trust the partner. The partner must be solid financially, must be solid in terms of trustworthiness and reliability. And you can find excellent partners locally. It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of experience. There are some threats, and it's useless not to hide them. Today, I was just reading a report from the European Commission, which put Nigeria among high-risk countries in the digital world for lacking copyright protection and lacking IPR enforcement. This is obviously a threat for all the people here around this table in this conversation, that they are developing solutions. We are all fighting and challenged by this. But these obviously must be European companies interested in investing should be very well aware of these kind of challenges. 419 is an abbreviation that is very popular in Nigeria, and I think it's getting well known also abroad. So watch out, work with reliable partners and so on. On the other hand, very positive note, and it shows also the importance of this market. Saturday, we had the chance to present the DigiLogic project with the Vestager. Vestager, as you know, is the Vice President of the European Commission, who visited Nigeria for a few days in the weekend. We were there, we presented our project and so on and so forth. But what is very important is that actually she came down with a high delegation of her team to present the EU Nigerian digital economy package for the next 4 years. And here we are talking about 820 million euro that the European Commission will bring down to the ground for digital development in the country. This is a huge investment, and this, I think, shows and back up what we are saying. There is potential in the country.
Awesome. Thank you, Margarita. Esther, over to you.
I think it's actually quite interesting what Margarita was pointed out. What I would like to say about this is that we can all agree that there is shortage of IT professionals in Africa in Europe. And what I can testify that Africa offers is that given how young our population is, with over 200 million people aged between 15 and 24 years for the youth bracket, and these are people and youth who are excited to learn, who want to do more than what the general norm has been prescribed. And when you compare how young our population is in Africa to how, like, the age difference that there is in Europe, that makes that shortage really significant, it makes somebody think, okay, where should I look to? And that is where Africa comes in. And what we do, or what companies like Prototype are doing, or Tunga are doing, and the Nest, is that we are trying to mobilize and bridge the gap that is in existence with regards to culture and professional differences between the two different worlds that we're trying to bring together. And that is evident with even companies as big as Google coming and committing to invest over billions of shillings and billions of dollars. Sorry, I'm speaking in shillings because it's Uganda that I'm used to. Yeah.
It's okay.
You had Google committing to invest over 1 billion into the African economy, even with setting up internet cables to make infrastructure scalable for tech in Africa. So this is the future. This is what we want to do as Africa, and our population makes it really, really interesting for Europe to tap into, and you can have no doubt that we'll be able to deliver. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Esther, for that. Like you've said, our population demographic in particular makes you see that it's not just about the potential now, is that it's a potential that will continue to grow. And the big companies are seeing this. The venture capitalists are moving here. The big tech companies are doing the same. My next question is to Lanre, to Peter, and to Mr. Oluwajoba. Let's just explore how Nigeria and the tech ecosystem has fared during the pandemic, and now we're sort of beginning to see signs of a post-pandemic world. How can you talk a brief about how the tech ecosystem fared during that time, and what is looking like as we exit a COVID world? Maybe we'll start with Lanre.
Thank you. I think I kind of spoke to this a bit during my presentation, but just add more color. I mean, initially we were seeing layoffs, and companies, we were essentially not sure what the impact of the pandemic would be. I think afterwards, everybody realized that there was change in attitudes towards digital, online shopping skyrocketed. And we saw a couple of changes to people not being. I mean, so there's a general love relationship with cash. The pandemic forced people to move away from that a bit, even though we still have a lot of that happening. So all of that was ultimately good. I mean, the pandemic wasn't good because lives were lost and all of that, but the impact on the ecosystem wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. So pretty much, yeah. I think the biggest thing, the biggest impact which kind of helped the ecosystem was just a change in attitude. We got people who just to realize that everything didn't have to be physical or cash and all of that, yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much. Mr. Peter, do you want to add something to that? What's your perspective on the effect of the pandemic? You're on mute if you're talking.
So I think changing attitude is very key. I think it's a very good takeaway. Just like Esther also mentioned earlier, I'll take it from both employers' also perspective of how things should be and how things could be done. Initially, of course, the idea of working remotely was was not that acceptable in a lot of ways. But pandemic made all of us realize, both the employers and the employees, that actually we could save enough time, we could achieve a lot more, and we could practically still find a way to communicate and get things done, even when we are restricted by limitations. I think that problem came from the fact that we are very communal in our nature and culturally. So, but a good takeaway from the whole pandemic stuff is that we've learned and we've adapted, and people can now work in a way with over some distance to make sure that things are done. And I think that's a very, very good takeaway. It really decentralized working like this. And then we need now to be able to build more on that, be more professional, get a better attitude, communicate properly, and be better as remote workers. I think that's a very good takeaway from.
Thank you. Oluwajoba, do you want to add something to it?
Yes, briefly, just two things. So for me, I think the first thing is the pandemic showed, and from data of what we saw, a lot of people went into self-learning, and that really, boosted the quality of the kind of product. Of course, we had very good people, but people, had time to really focus on things they actually wanted to learn, and probably they got better by it. The second thing that I know a lot of people have been pushing around is, when all these people fly out of Africa, so it's going to remain. And I like earlier session that happened, which is what we've also seen. There's a brain circulation, which is transfer of technology. And from some of our own products that have gone out, a lot of them are really happy to come back to give back. So that cycle makes it perfect, they are sitting remotely, they are gaining knowledge, they're able to pass, that knowledge to another crop of people that we're preparing, that, are injecting to the global market. So I feel Nigeria is ready. I'm quite excited. European Union coming and seeing it. We have businesses on ground, like prototyping and, other organizations that are really seeing this, making the market ready, for the global market. Yeah.
Thank you. So we have a question from the audience. Mr. Walter is asking, what sets Nigeria apart from other African tech hubs? I think it would be great for Margarita because your company decided to pick a place and you picked Nigeria. So it'd be nice to just sort of understand why you did that. But also Esther, I think Esther, because you also are you have a Pan-African view from your organization's perspective. So you might be able to also say what's really unique about Nigeria. So we'll start with Margarita.
I could answer and stay here for half an hour explaining why we are addicted to Nigeria and why we have been here so many years. I think it's really a unique ecosystem. If you look at Lagos is 20 plus million people. Think of the needs, think of the opportunities, think of the customer base that you have available. The entrepreneurship that is in the DNA of Nigerians. I mean, a whole here in the panel, a lot to teach. We are, I think, quite good in northeast of Italy. We are famous for micro SMEs working and whatever. But here in Nigeria, we have been challenged from an entrepreneurship standpoint, absolutely. I think, and this we are learning it through this project collaboration. For example, right now we are at work preparing a proposal on African food cities for the Horizon Europe program. And we are working with excellent local partners and even local authorities. In our consortium now we have the city, the Ministry of Agriculture in Edo State. We have Lagos Waste Management Authority, and they are in as technical partner, not only as political or institutional partner. So I hope I gave a glimpse of what I think.
Of course, Esther.
I'm really happy to answer this because before I started working as a developer, the Tunga developer community lead, I had some time and experience working as a technical recruiter with Tunga. So let me tell you something about Nigerians and Nigerian developers. They're really aggressive when they want something. I had experiences where, let's say a job description came in with, let's say, I'm looking for a Python React developer with experience working with specific APIs and has worked with specific tools. The developer will honestly tell you, honestly, I have worked with Python, I'm 90% good. With this, I'm really good. This, it's my first time seeing it, but give me 2 days. Give me 2 days to upskill myself. And I'm not lying when I say that in 2 days, the developer will come and you're having a conversation about that specific technology, like they've been working with it for over months and months. They are go-getters. And I cannot say the same for because as Tunga, we're present with our biggest operation, team being in Uganda, but we still have developers, we still have our largest developer pool coming from Nigeria because of how much they are go-getters. They know what they want. And I think the other day I read a very interesting tweet where someone said, okay, Nigeria is really big on fintech. They have amazing developers. They have a willingness to learn, but also invest back into their communities through teaching and the like. And when you compare Nigeria to a country like Uganda, where we're still stuck with banks and there are few fintechs here and there, and someone was like, when I think about Nigeria and my grandmother has 2 bank accounts that she's looking at on her phone, I don't even know how to consider the same. So Nigeria is it because of how aggressive the people are.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Esther. With this, we come to the end of our session. But everybody know that the very next session is about talent. So stay tuned and join that because we want to be taking a deep dive into Nigerian talent. Thank you so much, all my panelists, for joining me today and giving us a really lovely conversation. Do have a great one and join the other sessions. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.